Hi everyone, welcome on back to my channel. My name is Iris and this is my Loc journey. Today I'm actually 32 months locked, and so far things have been pretty good for the most part. But if you're not new to my channel, you've heard me say in previous updates or videos that I've been noticing the ends of my locks have been doing certain things, and I'm going to say I have to contribute it to color, lint, and a combination of the two. And also, I think it's also happening because my locks are still constricting in certain areas to me. I feel like they are starting to thin out a little more in certain areas, or shrink down a little bit more in certain areas of my hair. So in one of my last updates, I know I said I wanted to cut like a certain lock that was like dangling for dear life at that point. I think it was like hanging on about a few strands of hair. I did eventually cut that off, so that lock has been cut. I want to say it was about an inch or so. And when I went through the piece that I cut off, there was lint in there, and it did have like little black sections or little black spots, I want to say, on the lock, which I always thought that was just the lock, and maybe I didn't color a certain section of that lock, like a certain strand didn't get color on it when I was coloring my hair. So when I was picking at it and realized that that was lint that was trapped in there, and that was just it being, it turned that color black because of the color that I kept putting on it, different colors and things like that, I realized that it created a hole in my lock. So instead of it locking and filling in that space, the lint filled in that space, and then my hair kind of went around it, I want to say, because it did leave this big section, within the piece that I cut off when I did pick out the lint. And I'm like, well, that's probably why I'm noticing the ends of my locks are kind of looking like they're thinning out, like they're looking a little bit sparse, because obviously I'm coloring, and then on top of it I have lint trapped in certain sections of my locks, so my hair isn't necessarily there, it's just a hole there being filled with lint. So I'm just like, at this point, I mean, what can I do at this point? I could stop coloring, of course, but I don't see me being the person that's not going to color her hair at this point. I'm still loving my color, to be honest with you. But as far as the lint issue, I'm not going to go through and pick out my locks, of course, because that's just going to damage it. But I guess I'm more aware of it now, so I guess I just have to deal with it as time goes on. Like I said, I didn't really deal with the lint issue, like start brushing my locks and being more mindful of the lint in my hair, until further in my Loc journey. I want to say about a year or so in is when I started really caring about lint and realizing that it was an issue. So the ends of my locks probably have a lot of lint in them, and the only reason you probably can't see it is because I color my hair, so it's like blending in with my my hair and my hair color. But I do notice, certain spots have certain little black areas, so I'm assuming those are some areas that could be filled with lint near the ends, or throughout the lock. So I'm just like, at this point, I'm just going to leave it as it is and just continue on the journey, and if an issue comes up where I have to cut the ends of my locks, I just cut them. I'm not afraid to cut my locks. If you haven't noticed, I've kind of been cutting them month after month, I want to say, when I do look at them and realize, okay, why does this look like this? But so this area is missing about an inch or so, about 4 or 5 locks, I want to say. So I'm okay with it. It doesn't really bother me that much that I have to cut them, but I'm just like, at this point, lint is definitely the enemy. And I'm more aware of how detrimental lint can be in your locks. You think about it and you're just like, okay, lint, whatever, I'll just try to maintain it, try to cover my hair. But if you don't realize it's there and it's creating a hole in your lock, then you're not going to be mindful about it and like, oh my god, especially if you're coloring your locks, that you have to be careful with that issue. So that's where I've been with my locks the past couple of months, is dealing with the ends, the lint, and me coloring my hair, which I still love to do. So it's kind of the trade that I'm willing to offer or go with, I guess you want to say, with having my locks and loving to color them. I guess it's the price I have to pay. But overall, I still think my locks look pretty good. I still feel like they look amazing to me. And I still love my journey. I'm still happy with my locks. I just noticed those issues and I'm like, yeah, so pretty much my fault at the end of the day because of the choices I make with my locks, of course. And lint is just, I feel like it's always going to be an issue. Even if you brush your locks, you're never going to get all the lint out. So it's just something you have to kind of maintain throughout your journey and be aware of. But there's really no end all be all result for it. But I feel like, I am very open with my journey at this point. And I don't have to be, and I don't have to let you guys know what's going on with my locks. And I know probably other, people who do document their journey and share it with other people here on this platform probably don't say everything that's going on with their locks. But I feel like it will help someone probably before they get to the point where I am, or if they're on their journey and their hair is similar to mine, that you see what could or could not happen. Everybody's hair is, of course, different. So could this happen to someone else? It could or it could not. But I feel like I just want to let you guys what's going on, whether it's good or bad, because it's just, you can see the similarities, if there are similarities, and you can see what could or could not happen on your journey. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get closer so I can give you guys a 360. Okay, so now that I'm a bit closer, so like I said, I have been kind of cutting away at the front area here. So as you can see, some of them have like the little curly ends here. which I'm okay with. Doesn't really bother me too much. And I'm not sure which lock it was that I was cutting at that I showed in the last video, but I'm pretty sure it's one of these near the front here that I've chopped off already. That was just kind of dangling there. But overall, I feel like they are growing. I feel like they're growing in a weird type of sequence, because now I feel like these locks are looking much longer to me, which are the lighter portion of my locks. I definitely feel like this section here has taken off and has gotten so long, especially this one right here. This is one of my edges, and as you can see, I just feel like it's gotten so much longer out of nowhere. And I feel like my locks go through this sequence of certain areas of my hair grows faster than another section. So you can see like this one right here look like it's outgrowing the rest of them. It's taking off much quicker and it's here now. So they are growing, even though I have been kind of cutting at this bang area here. But like I said, I'm pretty much happy with them. I did recolor them like earlier in the month, so this way you can see they have been colored. I was trying to do like a little skunk, is that what you call it? The skunk section, where, you know, this portion is lighter than the rest of my hair. I don't know if it came out that way, but that was the goal I was trying to go for with this front section. I wanted it to be lighter than the rest of my hair, you know. But at this point, sometimes I feel like it kind of blends in, but maybe you can see the color difference here on the side. And other than that, I mean, they've been doing pretty well, especially my newer locks. They are still thriving here, which is these here on the edges. They are growing. They are starting to lock, I feel like, in certain areas. They're starting to not unravel and things like that. I don't have any unraveling with them, and they are progressing pretty well. As you can see, those are these here. So I have about 6 of them here that are my newer locks that are doing well in the front. And like I said in the previous video, I feel like the section at the top of my hair is still being pretty good, still being pretty tamed. I'm just realizing that this is not really that much of a problem anymore. I rarely have any hairs really grow away from the lock in this section at this point in my journey. It's really now starting to happen on this side. I don't know what's going on with this side, but it does not want to stay within the lock, and I have to, of course, add it back in. I am using the braiding method to add the hairs back into the lock each month if that is what's needed. I just feel like they are stretching out more or laying flatter more, and I do feel like they are constricting still. Which I thought they were completely done with that, but I don't think they are completely done with that, and I don't know when that will stop on the journey. I think it's gonna stop, you know, when it wants to, when it's done locking throughout the entire lock, because I think that what you kind of forget is that just because they look like they're locked and like you've done with the locking process, that's not necessarily true. Your locks can continue to lock throughout the entire lock, throughout the journey, and they may start to get smaller if you started out with a smaller parting section. And since that's what I started out with, I'm realizing that they are still doing that, which I don't really have a problem with, because if you're not new to my channel, I've said before, micro locks were what I wanted when I started my loc journey, but I just didn't have the capacity to part my hair out that small and create my locks that small. I started some of them like that, and then I realized, yeah, I can't do this anymore because I'm not going to be able to maintain it, and this is a lot of work. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with my locks at this point in the journey. They're doing pretty well overall, besides those points that I did bring up to you guys. So I'm very curious of my 3-year mark, which is almost here. I don't know how much longer they're going to get, or to be honest with you, the length that I was hoping for my 3-year mark was collarbone length. And I feel like they've already reached collarbone length. You know, I don't know. I really don't have a length that I'm looking for or trying to reach. To be honest with you, my locks have reached the length that I thought they would reach, which is off the shoulder or hitting my shoulder. So I am actually proud that they are at this length right now, and I had no expectations beyond this length, to be honest with you. Of course, they're going to keep growing the longer I stay on this journey, so the expectation that I have for them is just to be as healthy as possible, you know, with what I'm doing to them. But we will see as I proceed on the journey. So that is pretty much it for my 32-month loc update. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye, guys.